I am the charioteer of the world. As I told, we face a severe identity crisis always, and we seek idealism from and inspirations from different places, rather celebrating what's with us basically. So we have named our first collection as Rasaru 2. So-called the sustainable brands are actually benefiting out of their own guilt.
Same with those Jaipuri Kolhapuri chappals. I think they are selling it for 1.5 2 lakhs.
I think the coercive strategies that the West adapts and implements in terms of marketing their product is something which is clearly missing.
Abhishek Bachchan, is he the person who got you into textiles and the culture? Hi guys, I'm Ishita
And I'm Kanishka.
and welcome to
Drop the filter. I think more than everybody talks about sustainable fashion, like it's something really easy to do. And of course, in the environment we live in, it's a conversation that has to happen. But oftentimes people can't do it. But today with us, we have Vishwa, who has taken the initiative of making fashion sustainable as his passion and made it something that he's actually getting into this world. Hi, Vishwa.
Hi Kanishka.
How are you feeling?
All good actually. Thanks for putting some good words attributing to me. Ideally, yeah. So I was quite interested to know someone who's as relatively young talking about topics which are considerably need to be open on the open space or the media space. So I'm quite intrigued about what's coming towards me. So I'm just as curious as you guys are.
That's really sweet. Before we get into sustainability, who is Vishwa?
So primarily Vishwa, as in my name, my complete name is Vishwa Saradi. So the whole name's meaning is that I am the charioteer of the world.
Wow, that's such a
Oh my God.
impressive name.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think that defines my name well?
I mean, we'll get asked this question after the podcast.
Yeah,
we'll be able to answer better.
Answer that.
Yeah.
So primarily, I am someone who has been a film buff while doing my degree. So I used to consume a lot of films, and also I have made few short films which have been nationally acclaimed, basically. So my film my short film back in time was the best short film of the year at the Confederation of Indians in Indian Industries event called Young Indian Program. So ideally, the whole concept and I was not exposed to content and films as ideally the people or any young chap would do, even back in time. So my earliest memory of theater was me watching Guru like this. So I was literally very scared of the sound, and I was not quite often to the theaters. But my parents made sure that I had a very good consumption of the content of whatever I was watching. So as I told, Guru is my jab. It is my first jab of a larger than life figure, Abhishek Bachchan, making this empire stand out, and how things turn.
Correct.
Yeah,
It's
now
crazy.
it is something that relatable, and I am surprisingly working in the same industry as Abhishek Bachchan did in the film. But ideally, it is also a double jeopardy because he works for incepting polyester excessively into the garments and creating the market chunk. I am fighting against it, but
Oh
yeah.
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 So
That is true.
that's how I wouldn't call it destiny, but somewhere that hints upon, and every day I sleep up to the thought that I guess this was it.
Yeah. I mean, it takes time. These kind of changes, you just have to accept it, It's like when you grow up believing in something and then suddenly you realize maybe those things don't meet at the same point. And I think it's usually the opposite. Sometimes it's just parallelly driving itself towards whatever the destination is.
So is Abhishek Bachchan is he the person who got you into textiles and the culture?
I wouldn't say not. I mean, it's not only Abhishek Bachchan actually. When I was, as I told, in the pursuit of making short films during my degree, I had a very deep literature exposure. So in Telugu, literature is certainly something, it is called as Italian of the West, Italian of the West. So it is a very beautiful language as people claim it to be. I got to know, especially if I had to make a very distinctive comparison of Tulunadu and how Karnataka is. That's how indifferent the, Telangana and Andhra are. But primarily they speak the same language, but ideally it is very different in terms of culture. So I am from Telangana. I have my roots pretty much in Hyderabad, but I have a deep conscious on what the rural deck of Telangana is through literature. So I spent a good time of reading certain pieces of literary, and Telangana is also the primary cultivator of cotton as a crop, as a cash crop, right? So it is indeed very much relatable that a lot of I would say literature would be based on the works which are happening at the rural deck of Telangana, right? So there was a poem which was an eye opener for me, to be honest. So it says that the crop that he's growing, the farmer is growing. The farmer is reciting basically here in this context, and cotton is quite democratic. Correct. Because it is on a shirt, it is on a, let's say, baby's diapers back then. Now though I'm not sure of the material, but back in time babies used to wear it, and it is on the hospital bed as well, and even at your death part you are covered with the cloth, right? So it is quite democratic that way. And also when I do offer something to God, it is in the diya,
which is again cotton.
which is again cotton. But you seem to have light in every single space, but I grow you, you have made my life darken, was a poem. If I had an opportunity to actually make you understand in Telugu, it would have been great. But yeah, that is the meaning out of it. But yeah, so these sort of questions and the pieces of literature have really moved me. I tried to understand what the field is. I have subconsciously, as I told you, Guru, and every single element that I read, has a piece of, inspiration which have gotten me here where I am basically.
I think that's a much depth when you talk about how literature, there's a lot of
States and
media
lot of culture.
culture that has driven you to this point, which is crazy because in just say Telangana and the rural and the urban side, there's a lot of cultural differences you spoke about. And to actually adapt to certain things and bring it out in the most positive way out is very cool. Because we were just talking about how I've been in Karnataka, in Bangalore for so many years. I still struggle a lot with the language. But there are a lot of cultures, things that you cannot take out of that place. It's sometimes you can go out of the city, but the city can't get out of you kind of vibe. And which is, I think that shows a lot from where you are speaking. I think a lot of your roots are, and a lot of your value system are built around Telangana and the culture around here, and which is really cool. So, what are your thoughts on Indian textiles before colonialism?
So I'll just break things down psychologically, because as Indians, it is we live in ignorance and we have false bravado. So ideally, we are not someone who accept the fact that we always seek something superior, and we always think that there are superior things than us. So that's where a deep sense of identity crisis hits us, and we always idealize everything except us.
True.
Very true. But do you think it's just an Indian issue or it's a human issue?
Because I think, I'm so sorry to cut you off, but I think we don't like what we make, but once the Western media has made it, we like it. Like in that point of view.
I guess in terms of market synergies, that could be a valid point, as you told.
Like even clothing items. Like what we found today, like what we used to wear a lot back, we never used to like it, but now the same thing, Westerns are wearing it again, and that now we also want to wear it.
I would say, there are certain things which market forces oblige us to do, but more so, I guess it is also a very psychological thing for Indians. Because let's say, European countries make wine, and they have the largest supplies across the world. And certainly in some brands, I have also seen the supply chain has been tracked out at such a very good state that someone who's consuming their wine from Hyderabad is also getting cut. The farmer from the Europe will be getting the cut out of the sale. So they have optimized on that scale. So I guess somewhere we have lost the control in the last whatever years that colonialism happened. But we have, as I told, we face a severe identity crisis always, and we seek idealism from different and inspirations from different places, rather celebrating what's with us basically.
Is it because of the British coming to the India?
Not really, not really. See, again, as I told,
Yeah,
it is within us.
Yeah, I think it's a little deeper than that, because even now, for example, say we're doing this podcast, we're looking up to someone. We're not figuring out that we might be as good as we think we are. I think it's oftentimes when it's appreciated by the others, like someone else who's watching us, is when we think about it for a second. But I think it's just a second of, I feel like we also find it very difficult to take appreciation. I think it could be a part of identity crisis, also because you don't think of yourself like that. Things that come easily to you, for example, say I've been in front of the camera for a couple of years now, and I do it very easily. So for me, it's not that big of a deal. So if someone appreciates me, I'm like, why? It is something I enjoy doing. It's not a big deal for me. But at the same time, if I
the opposite.
exactly at the same time, someone who's extremely afraid of the camera says that, then I realize also it's difficult for such, which is why that person thinks that it could be difficult for me as well, and I overcame the difficulty. But I think as humans, there will always be that one thing we have in us which we do it so easily that we don't realize that it could be a difficult task. Like maybe for you, educating yourself about textiles, we're having a conversation with you and we're learning from you, but for you it flows naturally. So for you, it's not that hectic of a conversation to have. But if you put me here and make me talk about history, I'm blank. That's if you but you make a historian sit there, for that person it's really easy.
I could be the learner then.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a circle and
Continuous,
everyone finds it. And because now if I come and appreciate you about your, say, knowledge about textiles and knowledge about clothing and sustainability, you won't find it that big of a deal because you've been doing it. Like I tell you, you're doing so great in the sustainability field, you're just going to take it casually. You won't think of it as like, oh my God, I'm doing such a big thing. I think that's where the issue is. We find it very difficult to take appreciation or actually accept the appreciation as it comes. Because I think if I were to be appreciated about something, my first response is, it's not, it's fine. Like, don't appreciate it so much. It's not that big of a deal. And I think most people have that around me, is what I have seen. I don't want to generalize it a lot. But I think that comes with, firstly, identity crisis, because this is easy for you, you're okay with it. If there's something you don't know, you're just like, okay, I don't know what to do about it. So I think it's a circle that we all are stuck in.
Also, it could be that, we are quite adaptable to comfortable lies than facing the harsh truth.
I agree. Yes.
That could also be a certain case. But yeah, India has, irrespective of the field, which is textiles, there are lots of things that we are actually almost lost the heritage, and the culture is actually screaming for validation.
I agree. Even though the Indian craftsmanship, it's I don't know, it's the British and versus the Indian craftsmanship. I just feel we're losing it
Absolutely.
at the moment, and it's so beautiful, and we'll realize it once it's gone, and we are slowly realizing it.
I
as soon
agree, because I recently saw I think one of these Western really big brands. I'm not sure of the brand. Maybe like one of I think Prada it is. They introduced, how we wear patiala pants. They introduced patiala pants in the Western, and now it's a big.
But you know what
hit
they're
there.
called? Balloon pants.
They're a big hit there, and hence people are starting to wear and style that again in India. Same with those Kolhapuri
Kolhapuri
chappals. I think they are selling it for 1.5 2 lakhs. And here, I mean,
It's like,
we know
yeah.
it's not that expensive, but it's just the brand. And once it's come there, now everyone's getting it back here.
Yeah. So why do you think this is happening?
So, extreme conditioning towards something, as I told again, we have been obliged to agree or, adapt to certain things, right? And as I told, also, we are very much, ignorant of the fact to face the truth.
Yeah,
Agree.
we are.
So, what I've lately understood from being the field is it is not me selling, few garments and making a fortune out of it, but to break down the psychological pattern of understanding of the products that we are building, right?
Correct.
So, ideally, if I may ask, what is the seasons that you see? I mean, in terms of fashion, there are collections, right?
Yeah, the winter, summer,
Summer,
spring.
right?
Yeah.
Autumn, right? So we have named our first collection as Rasarutu.
I love the mini detail that you've added to make it more Indian.
So it was not any autumn, winter, or fall, or summers or whatsoever. I didn't want to call it that way. I wanted to. I was very much stubborn in few things. I am very stubborn in a lot of things. I have to say is I should accept the fact that I am a very 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 stubborn guy. So I remember when we were discussing about how to name the collection and do we actually need to have a collection or should we actually randomly drop certain products, and we are not and we were discussing about to have like 12 to 15 product lines initially. So again I thought, is it even worth to understand, or should we highlight few crafts and tell people that this is something which is coming from a heart. There is someone who is working at a certain period of time. I am not in admiration or sympathizing with any artist who is working with it. It is a honor and legacy that he has been passing through the generations, and there is significant amount of work which is going towards you. And considering an average time and effort, considering what we are able to pay for whatever services or product that we receive today, this is humongous.
Yeah.
And you can't really put any price tag for it.
Yeah, I agree because the time that goes to make these, clothing products, it takes a very long time because in India we make it everything through our bare hands. So it's a
Yeah.
lot of labor work, but it's also very authentic.
Very
So I think giving up that will be a big loss, definitely. Also, nowadays everyone is into sustainability. Like, you see every other brand in the market. Do you think it's a marketing gimmick just because they want to show that, oh my god, we're doing this, or is it like, are they doing it for real?
I actually like the fact that you have brought up this, because sustainability and so-called the sustainable brands are actually benefiting out of their own guilt, even if they oblige it to some extent. I guess sustainability for me, is a very simple thing. Let's not call it sustainability. I would call it tikau in Hindi. So, how tikau it is going to be for the planet and how tikau it is going to be for you. This is the primary metric. Okay. So, we were building a house in Hyderabad quite some time before. So, the radical approach of my parents was to build a mud house. So they went down Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, and they bought all the artisans and they started making it. So as a lifestyle option, we live a very minimal lifestyle. It's not something I can't withstand a certain part of my city.
Yeah.
The concrete part of city is something which I actually regret upon. So it has to come from within and it has to be honest.
No, absolutely.
That honesty will bring in true brands. And as I said, there is something called greenwashing. You might also be knowing it. Greenwashing is a curse for an industry, for any industry. You can call your product as you can't. It's okay if you don't claim any good thing, or it is sustainable, or it is so and so friendly, and you can market it. That's no wrong. you are playing a good business strategy is what I believe.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
to claim something sustainable, and if you are selling out something out which is not really sustainable as you claim it to be, I guess that's where the problem comes down.
Is it easy to find out the things? For example, like a brand is selling their products as sustainable, can a normal person figure out between a sustainable and a non-sustainable product?
I guess yes. There are certain certification labels for fashion. There are Oecotex and GOTS, Global Organic Textile Standards, and there are, to a large extent, there are few brands who are very much religious about the choice of fabrics and practices. But where Singidi comes down as a different and breaks out is we are primarily a farm to finish product. So we start off by growing our own cotton, and then we make our own dyes. And even in terms of dyes, there is a bit of innovation. So ideally, natural dyes is a process wherein the beetroot, madder, indigo, and the turmeric are basically boiled down to a point, and then you add the garment, and you wish to choose the color, and you play with combinations, right? That is not ideally the approach. We are collaborating with few people who are actually very much into the field and trying to improve the wash cycle of the products, right?
Yeah.
So I could claim my product as natural product, but if it is not withstanding 2 or 3 washes, it is again unsustainable. It is growing the dump. So I can't really claim it to be sustainable. If I'm relatively adding up good value and wash cycles to the garment, and also if I'm giving a very good clear indication of the product wash care, then I can claim that
It's sustainable.
this is something which is coming from a genuine mindful thought. So this is where Singidi breaks through.
Yeah, I agree. Because I also feel sustainability nowadays is very important. Also because it's, helping the environment. Because less wastage and you're just recycling the product over
Yeah.
and over again. So I think it's a great initiative for the people who do it.
I think I have a question here where do you think what's the profit margin for a sustainable product garment versus a non-sustainable garment?
So as of now, if something is as religiously done as how Singidi does it, I don't think we are making any profits. We are trying to open a market because the consumption power, and to break down the mental thought and to clear that stigma out of something which is it is that autumn winter versus Rasarutu fight
Yeah.
that we are fighting. So we are, as of
But I think
now,
aren't these two different fights? For example, the autumn winter fight that you're talking about is a Western versus, say, Indian culture. But the other fight is sustainability versus non-sustainability products.
it's not that. Clearly, it's not that. It could be. So basically, we have to break certain patterns of thought, right? So, how do you think the brand Marlboro has scaled?
Has scaled?
Has scaled.
Has scaled.
Yeah.
I think by its name.
So Marlboro had back in time there was good competition in terms of cigarettes, right? So there was someone. I'm not recollecting the name, but he has apparently helped in a lot of political campaigns and also designed greatest marketing strategies ever for very renowned brands. And he's a thought pattern, breaker. And he has suggested to put Marlboro cigarette boxes in the stockings of the high-profile ladies back in parties. Okay? So they have positioned that cigarettes is not only for the men, but they have break the pattern in terms of the thought. So now you have additional 51% of the market, 50 to 50, whatever odd percent of the market ready as a choice, and you are cleanly targeting and you are breaking a thought pattern.
So how are you doing that?
So primarily we have to tell the greatness of it is not solely the product that we are trying to understand, make people understand. We are trying to build a culture. And that has to be cultivated like like how we make how we cultivate the cotton. So we have to make people understand that it is not blatantly a very simple product that we are offering you, but it is a story.
Yeah.
ठीक है. So my initial 4 products that we have designed, everything carried a story. There are 2 denims. Ideally, denim was invented in India, but very much adapted by Japanese and marketed by the West. This is not part of India produces very good denim. Then there is South India's ikat, primarily from Telangana. There is one jacket, ikat, Telia Rumal is the term that they use. Basically, the abbreviation of etymological data, Telia Rumal means oily kerchief.
Yeah.
So,
I was just,
so it is from Middle East. Basically, Yemeni soldiers whom the Nizam hired got them for very good. I mean, they were very good with horse riding. So he got his army back in time, and they used to have the habit of wearing it as a oiled head kerchief, not handkerchief, but head kerchief, so that it could keep their head cool. Because of the yarn used to be treated with the oil, gingerly oil. So this is how etymological data suggests the quality of the fabric and efficient use case scenario, and how distinct the culture is, the cross cultural collaboration of Hyderabad, and how significant Hyderabad was in terms of adapting to cultures, right?
yeah.
And then, as I told, Telia Rumal is a very intricate fabric. In terms of ikat itself is a very intricate art, and in that Telia Rumal has a killer uh, pattern, and it takes a lot of time and effort for any weaver to weave it. Yeah. So we have tried to curate certain stories so that it breaks down that we always had it, but we fail to recognize it. So we are trying to play that game. Yeah.
That's
I think that's very cool because, like I said, a lot of things are forgotten, and then when it's recollected and found by the West, it comes back like a, oh my God.
Very true. Very true.
That's when you realize that, sometimes you have that thing and then you have an idea, you don't work on it. Later, you find someone else do that idea, and you're like, how do I prove the world that this was
it was
ours first?
yeah, my original idea.
Which is what's been happening with a lot of garments, a lot of industries, because a lot of things India has excelled in. But I think it's the
There's
idea of grabbing the
Yeah.
opportunity. A lot of things were started here, continued somewhere else, and then later people of India realized ki, oh no, we did this, but we lost the opportunity given to us. By the examples which I just recently gave. They're all because when I did see such things happen, it's crazy because it's literally what, and it's not even a difficult task. Like, how hard is it to get a patiala stitched as compared to other garment pieces I'm speaking? But the way they have bought it in and they've projected it and made it a fashion statement, it's crazy.
So again, I guess we are also some as an Indian. I guess we are very dull marketers,
Yeah, laid back.
laid back marketers. I think the coercive strategies that the West adapts and implements in terms of marketing their product is something which is clearly missing.
No, I agree, fully agree.
So I guess the coming generation has to understand 2 things primarily. One, will be able to market any rural product in that way. Can we do a mass social engineering strategy? Second thing, will my product or service retain the time of, let's say, next generation? So I am certainly facing the problem with the second half. Now, no one of my age is ready to adapt and understand how the weaving works, especially with the intricate patterns. Everyone has the US dream. Every other person has a dream to pursue their active white collar dreams, basically, but they are failing to understand. And if the coercion, as I told, is created as soon as possible, there will be skill retention is something that I'm very keen on, and I'm working towards it. So this is something that we have to realize as someone who's as young and also concerned about what the future is going to be, and also understand the market forces.
Definitely.
I agree, but I wanted to know now. You mentioned that this is not something that is profitable for you at the moment. How are you planning to get people of the next generation into this if it is not profitable?
Although this part of the business is not very profitable, I would always ask people to, develop a revenue stream for your business. Don't do something very significantly different, but do in your field, but also analyze the piece of good chunk of money wherein you can get from other part of the similar business line. Okay? So I uh, do a lot of different things, basically very subjected to textiles. I have different teams sorted for different things, so that is how I am able to keep it keep it sustainable financially. I keep my ball rolling that way. So one has to also, I would actually recommend, before starting something as aggressive as how Singidi and its thought and its approach is, I would ask them what could be the regular money income feeder for your company. That's when things will get aligned. So one has to analyze the parallel revenue stream wherein you have to put in minimal effort, minimal money, and also, gain something relatively good so that it can feed your company and then start the business.
Basically, like keeping a one more revenue option so that you can make the other company more sustainable.
Not other companies, same company with the revenue stream that we are idealizing it.
Yeah,
Got it.
no, makes sense.
Yeah, I have a small doubt. So I'm from North, so I haven't seen a lot of sustainable brands or sustainability talk out loud. So I shifted to Bangalore like 5 6 years back ago. I heard the whole concept over here, I think through one of your friends or something. It's not really much in the north. Is
Not really. Ishita, actually, the place that you come from has a crop called Himgra. So Himachali grass is the abbreviation. So that is the most alternate crop for cotton.
I have no idea.
So as people claim it to be, cotton is not as sustainable as people claim it to be. It is the most unsustainable crop, both for the farmer, for the soil, and also for the nature. It has to, you won't believe me when I say there are lots of pesticides which need for, for ideally, as I told, the social engineering is done that way, you have to feed your crop with a lot of pesticides has been the norm. Okay? But ideally, as I understood the farming technique, uh, a very relative bed layers of soil has to be reconstructed in a way wherein the bottom layer of the soil has to it has to swapped with the lower layer, and then there has to be a very good amount of natural manure or compost manure has to be added, and the soil piece that we are going to cultivate the cotton from has to have a set cycle of non-monocultural crops, which is not only, let's say if I'm putting cotton, it should not yield year-round cotton only, but there has to be soil rotation and crop rotation happening in the soil, so that the soil doesn't lose its fertility. And then if we are able to grow the crop of cotton, then it is called organic cotton, and that is sustainable.
I just love how you said then if the crop is able to grow. Isn't that like a very
That's crazy because a lot of
Yeah.
places, again, this could be a gimmick, but a lot of places claim to have clothes with organic cotton.
Yeah, 100% organic cotton.
Yeah.
Is that
There could be, I have also seen there is a large surge of organic cotton materials and products coming up, which is actually very good. I would say, I would, actually appreciate it, in fact.
Yeah.
But we also have to, if I am also scared that, as wheat is for the north and how paddy is for the south, it should not be monocultures, cultures in terms of, because we are literally killing the field, soil, and if it is losing fertility, I don't think we will be able to grow crops any further after decade. So that is the maximum that we are the proximity is, and it has been happening since past 5 years. So I doubt
Are
if we
there any
could.
measures to prevent all of these right now?
I guess it has to come. Basically, we should not. I mean, again, as I said, there are lots of checkpoints that one has to understand. As someone who's as relatively young as me, for me to retain back in India itself is a big thing for
Yeah.
an average household, right? Or to do some pick up some conventional job which has security comparatively is also again a separate thing. And after fighting such battles, and then you have to, if my parents are very democratic that way, they asked me to do whatever that you like, that was fine. But for someone, some other guy or some other girl, I'm not sure how
This would
radical
turn out.
thought it would be in their and as I told again, there are lots of opinions around us. But I don't think, if we are not doing it right now, I don't see a point of time wherein India could be any could produce anything as good for the coming future.
That's true. And that's actually
Yeah.
extremely sad because I think a few hours ago we were speaking with someone here itself, and she was also talking about if we don't start to take care of the environment now, our future generations will really suffer
Yeah.
because our older generation didn't have, say, they weren't so well equipped with things. They hardly had things. In terms of either they had things or they didn't have the money to get the things. Plus, things were not available that easily, and there were not too many options to choose from. And our generations are getting the liberty to choose from 100 different options. There's zero sustainability. I mean, there are, in a group of 10, there will be half a person who can actually adhere to being completely sustainable, because we don't see it as an option. We always were living in a life where we want everything immediately, everything quickly, everything like Blinkit vibes, where everything just you order, it comes here. Yeah, everything very quick commerce, and things like this don't produce very quickly.
I agree. Again, basically coming back to the question, Ishita. So I am obliged to tell you this, that North also has good amount of. I am not sure of the brands, but there are certain centers of culture which are actually preserving certain crops, certain seed varieties, and also there is lots of innovation happening. So I would take some time to tell you about Himgra. Himalayan grass is a crop wherein it consumes. It is a rain-fed crop basically. It doesn't need any cultivation as such, but its stem and roots are relatively very good fibrous. It has the same elasticity, and also the properties are quite similar to any cotton and viscose blend could be, which is relatively useful for you know incubating in terms of fashion. So I guess such crops need to be identified. Cotton also has to decline in terms of production, in my view, to keep it sustainable. And the brand should think, if someone wants to start something in sustainability or any relatable parameters, one has to keep in check of these points only if they are concerned with the environment. If not, they are always open to choose whatever they could do. Relatively, if they shouldn't claim something and do something else,
Yeah.
so that is not acceptable. And
Yeah, that's like making a fool out of the customers and even out of yourself
very true,
eventually.
very true.
I have one more. I have a doubt. Do you think Indian brands, they can be authentic and can still scale to like the global level? If yes, do you know any such brands?
Tega is a good contemporary for me. Tega, I should appreciate the founders. They are taking the community of Lambani, is the community name. They hail from Rajasthan primarily, and they have settled in the banks of Dakni, which is Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Telangana combined. So they are doing some killer job in terms of retaining their craft and making people understand what the craft is and how deep they are with it. So I really like how they are propagating it, and they are, I guess, very good they also have good access in terms of taking it to the global level. I like the brand. I like the brand and their strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I asked this also because we don't see a lot of like Indian authentic brands globally, and I was telling in a way of like garments related, like textiles, like clothing. So that was.
I think I recently saw a brand. I'm not able to get their name. They're not sustainable, and I mean, it's a clothing brand only. I think it's in the same level as, if I'm not wrong, it's niche. It's trying to reach the global audience, if I'm not wrong. Because I read about it somewhere where they are reaching the global audience in terms of oversized clothing and all of that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I guess in terms of, let's say, we are not focusing on sustainability and the story driven, as I told. I guess there are lots of brands which are doing it. You won't believe me, Zara has their biggest manufacturing epicenter in India.
India.
So I'm not sure if I can take the name, but off late I will also try to explain you what the company is and what are their practices.
Zara isn't sustainable, right?
No.
Yeah,
None
like
of these are.
Anything which reaches a part of mass, and they are having wild produce, and also they are trying to reach a wide sections of society and promoting aggressively, then I am, I just get laid back. I try to figure out. So this is my immediate checklist on how things should not be with a sustainable brand. Then
yeah,
I
plus
try to
also adding
understand.
that, I think a lot of brands are torturing animals to make a lot of like uh clothing
In terms of leather,
leather.
yeah, leather,
So
yes.
Leather fur
yeah,
is very in trend at the
trend.
moment.
So uh is this something that I would just want to understand, like are there, like for example, like there will be a lot of companies or policies that will be against the sustainability. So are there like a lot of companies, a lot of like government policies which are against these people who torture the animals? Because at the end of the day, I don't think it's the right thing to do.
See, there are two ways to look at it. If they are doing it, taking out the leather, as I told, in a very correct manner after the death of the animal, then I guess it's fine.
Okay.
Valid.
But because I will tell you the adverse effects of it, right? We are also someone who are rampantly are out of species of living organisms. India is also losing a lot of living organisms and their species, which have indefinitely very good contribution in our ecosystem for environmental ecosystem. So I believe that that propagation, if we actually see and we are clearly avoidant about the fact that we are not getting anything out of it, humans are obliged and we are conditioned that way, wherein if it is not useful, it is not meant to be or meant to survive in this world. So we are as cruel. Let's just accept the fact. So I believe to, let's say, if an animal produces leather and someone wants to make leather, as I told, they could always try to opt for sustainable
That's
practices,
what I
and after
meant.
that
Because
it is good.
I'll tell you what, I wouldn't say a problem, but what I feel really bad about is like a lot of, you know, influencers, a lot of stars, they promote like you shouldn't do this, but then they also have like, they carry a bag which is made out of a cow skin.
I
So
understood.
that really troubles me because I just feel it's very diplomatic. Like you're not being honest to yourself. Like either don't promote it and then do such things, because
Yeah, I think
obviously
very
they,
hypocritical.
yeah, obviously they know what's going into all of this, but they also have their own brands which they claim to be sustainable. I wish I could mention them, but yes.
No, I get it. See, being sustainable and being cruelty free are two different things.
Yeah.
As I told, if someone is doing let's say I produce leather tomorrow, and I am claiming it to be sustainable, and I tell the same story. Would anyone, if there are people who still then don't get convinced, there are a lot of vegans who will be behind me, but that's quite fair, because that is also coming from a honest point that there is significant amount of animal harm which is happening. But in my head I am thinking that I am also someone who is preserving the breed, right?
So it's like both of Cases
I think
and-
it's different perspectives. I also feel like that because it will also, I feel it's always going to be a war in these, because there will be some people who will not, like vegan people, they will not, versus the non-vegetarian people. I'm just giving an example. Like the vegan people will keep fighting and the non-veg will also keep fighting, and it's going to be a war in case of the every industry, I feel, in this.
At any given field, any extreme thoughts or practices should not be encouraged, in my belief. You always have to have your ears and eyes open
Yeah.
to understand basically, and to keep your mind running is something that we have lost, and we are at a very sick stage of getting influenced, and influencer is something that we are actually looking up to people with the tag. But ideally the name influencer itself as a meaning, as a synonym, is actually shutting down my mind, and someone is actually influencing me. That's a very wrong word, and it is getting propagated, and people are thinking that it is a very cool field to be, and it is very also you are carrying the power of being advantages of people, changing the, I mean, if it is doing for the good, it's good, but if it is for the bad, you never
I
know.
think in every field there are these two sides.
Good and
So
bad.
I mean, everyone, even if it's say not an influencer, sure they're termed. That's why it's putting eyes on them. But for example, if it was a politician, or if it was a cricketer, or if it, at the end of the day, these are all big people who are directly or indirectly influencing people who look up to them. Because I think recently in one of the IPL matches, someone was caught vaping, like one of the cricketers. It's not something ideal situation. You shouldn't be doing that openly. Considering the fact that you know there are cameras on you 24/7.
Wow.
All of these things will be during the match. And you're
It's
a,
actually the BCCI rule to not vape inside the
yeah,
smoking.
my point
Yeah.
exactly. The eyes are going to be there and you are influencing. Now he's gotten away with money, sure. But there will always be children who's like, okay, he can do it,
Do it.
so I can too.
And they can come up with an idea of, like, money perspective.
Yeah,
And I'm
I mean-
telling in a bigger point of view, like if people are, going to jails, that's how they learn, because
Yeah.
there is money,
Because
you can get
for
out
him,
of it.
yeah, because he's just lost. For him, it's not. It might not be that big of a deal. What, 25% of that match? Cool, he's out of it. The
And-
charges are lost.
And that actually makes sense of how, for example, brands who do animal, who hurt the animals, the consumers are also same level of, contributing to it, because they are buying all of that. How the whole system works is, obviously, for example, me, if I know a brand is doing something like this and if I like something, yeah, I would go buy it. I'm being in a very practical world. Like, we do think about these things, but we still buy it. So I think it's a game of both sides.
So let me understand what could be your consumption choice in terms of fashion. ठीक है? नहीं, I would really appreciate if you were forthright with no facade and tell me what is exactly.
of course.
I तो openly told you.
हाँ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what could be the consumer choice? Would you choose something which is affordable and not very sustainable, but to choose something which is very costly but you are idealistic?
For me personally, for me, brands don't matter. I can buy a track pant which is worth say 300 rupees, and I can use it for 2-3 years. For me, material quality matters. For me, that's how I see sustainability. I'm a big time hoarder. After 10-15 years, this year was the first time I cleared my closet, which my mother, by the way, is very grateful for. I've removed 4 big packets because I've had clothes for 10 years, and it's not that they're just there. I used to wear them. I'm someone who wears the same outfit on alternate days until unless I have to go out. So that's the kind of, I don't claim myself to be a very sustainable person. I am not. But if in any way this could be sustainable, that's how I do it. I don't really collect clothes. I'm not someone who can, I'm feeling very irritated, I can't get up and go shop. I don't like shopping. I'm not someone who'll buy. I shopped once in 2 years. That also you can't shop when you go with a headset of shopping. I'm someone, I need to buy 2 denims today, I need to buy 1 pant today, 1 shirt today. I will go bring those 4 things and I will be back in half an hour. I'm not someone who can go there, choose once in a blue moon if I like something, sure. But I am someone who will take 3 hours to decide if I want, whether it's actually worth it. How many times will I wear it? Is it something that I will wear it more than 3 times? Because for me, one-time products, until unless it's some big event, I don't find sense in it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can't. I might buy so denims is something I might invest a little more in because I know that particular product will work for me for 5 years. Normal daily tops, I recently went to Zudio. They're very
Yeah, actually, both of us went
Yeah.
and we just get
The
like the thing that we
t-shirts there are
wanted,
for I think 200 bucks. Now you know you don't want to wear this. That also my mom hates me for. I wear that 200 rupee t-shirt for
every day.
almost 7 months,
I'm
8
not
months,
joking.
1 year. Yeah.
Both I keep going to her house and I think she'll keep seeing me in the same t-shirt because I'll tell you what, with both of us we only shop once in a while and we'll tell also each other what we
Yeah.
are shopping and that will be the stuff that we want. So
We
like
actually need. It's the need of the
I have a
hour.
very funny story I have to tell you. So I think recently I shopped from H&M and I got one top and I was like, Kanishka, you have to try it. You first try it. If it looks good on you, then you buy it. Are you understanding? Or if not,
It's
also like,
very calculative. I
Yeah.
was very calculated in terms
Yeah.
of spending. I don't, again, not calling ourselves sustainable, but that's how our
Yeah.
brains work. If it's a normal day to wear top, in that we don't mind spending less because we know
Yeah.
only 1.5 years. That also when I push it to 2 years, my mom will take it and throw it out of my room.
Yeah, I
Only
agree.
then it gets out of my house. If not, until then, there are clothes that are going to be.
Or else my like if my clothes are like 6 years old, she'll pass on to my cousin.
Yeah, I think that's one more way of being sustainable
Sustainable,
because
like,
even I have a
it passes
sister.
on. Like what
Even
my,
I have a sister,
Yeah.
so even she has a sister. My mom's almost the same size as me, so we all
Exactly.
rotate clothes. It's not that
So like
we might have
yeah.
3 closets, but we all rotate clothes.
Just imagine 3 sisters and including mom also and 3 sisters. We just keep changing clothes
Yeah.
because we are all like
So
same
in
size.
that way, it's sustainable. I don't
Yeah.
know how it's helping the environment,
But
but
we
we're
are trying.
not hoarding
Hoarding,
ourselves with
yeah.
new clothes. That was a very long answer.
answer
No,
to
no,
a
no,
very
no, no.
small question.
Because these sort of insights do help to analyze and understand what the consumer pattern is.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have definitely benefited out of it. I would have expected a little more elongated, prolonged answer, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
I mean, it takes because a lot of people around me are there's this one brand I know, kids toys. They are a full sustainable kids toy brand, which is so cool because when you think of sustainability, you think of expensive.
Yeah.
You think of no profit for the company because it's not easily profitable. And even as a consumer, you take time to rely on sustainable. As big as the firm is, I think that mentality change for leaning towards sustainability might take slightly longer than we think it would.
So it is sustainability is something that people have to look up for. What I've understood lately is it is aspirational. It has to be aspirational. Like I remember when I was back in Inter, the Air Jordans or the Adidas Superstars were the shoes which we all have thought about of buying, and it was literally very heavy on our pockets.
Yeah.
So did we lose that dream? No. We have accumulated funds, or let's say work for it, or did something or the other to afford it. Okay. So that happens when my aspirations and it hits me that this is something that I need.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
also adding to that, I think India is a very
Price sensitive.
yeah, price sensitive. I'm so sorry because like if we want to buy something, and I'm telling in sustainable fashion, it's a little pricier side. So I'm telling in a mass production, the people will think I think like 10 times more than buying a normal cloth, which is of a lesser
Yeah.
price. So I think
I
to reach
agree.
that level, we I think need a couple more years or maybe more.
To understand. And I think
Yeah.
including along with price sensitivity, I think in sustainable fashion, I don't think there are a lot of fashion pieces.
Yeah, I agree.
So
They
We
are
spoke
dull,
I
and
agree with this.
yeah, I mean, we spoke about Zara. Now,
Yeah.
those are in trend products. Now, if someone wants casual, sure, we can rely on sustainability. If someone has the money, they'll get it. But it's not changing the fact that for fashion clothes, they will not run to sustainability purely because there is not too many options.
Yeah, and when I feel in sustainable fashion, the pieces are like very like even wow type, but you can only wear it one time. Like what I have felt, because I think I saw recently there was a sustainable jeans and they have like, you know,
patchwork
yeah,
of.
patchwork of different, but you cannot always wear it on a daily basis. So I think,
Yeah.
and also adding to that, I think a lot of people don't know what sustainability is in India. Like it will take some time, obviously, but we need to like maybe have more brands, more vocal conversations with people
And
to
more
understand.
accessible for
Yeah.
different occasions, I would
Occasions,
say.
yeah.
Because, like she mentioned, this patchwork pant, it's great. Now, one more way of sustainability is this is what we've done at home, is why I'm saying we might. Now, there is a denim which doesn't fit me, anyone doesn't fit anybody else, that will turn into a bag.
Absolutely. Repurposing. Yeah.
That actually happens in my house. So there were a lot of denim pieces at home, and my mom is also a fashion designer. So she's turned these denim pants material into sanitary pads, pouches for those,
Yeah.
for girls to take it to their colleges. मतलब
Colleges.
bag में रखने के लिए, just instead of, usually you just wrap it in newspaper. This is a more cooler
Like
way
a
to take it.
fancy bag.
Yeah, like, or a bag
Hmm.
or something like that. So that's how my sustainability works, because you're not wasting the product. Something is happening. Now, end goal, after that, I don't know how people will use it. I've seen places, a lot of boutiques where they use these leftover to make, say, keychains, to make hairbands.
Basically, the insight here is, let's not make the viewer by the thought that repurposing is the only solution. That is a very good solution as of now. From for any layman who is not from the industry, it is a very good solution
agree.
actually. But someone, let's say, any garment which has, again talking about the price point of less than 1,000 rupees for any garment, okay, there has to be excessive amount of poly and compounds of polyester added to it, okay. Now, polyester is nothing but plastic, okay.
Yeah.
Very simply putting it forward. Now, the amount of time which it takes to decompose, we are just adding some time of usability to it. Okay, let's say a disposable bag is made out of a jean which has excessive polyester. It will retain its purpose of, let's say, it is serving a thing to carry for some while, and again it gets discarded. I guess, and not a guess, but a very firm statement that we have produced enough plastic that is needed for generations together. ठीक है. Now let's not try to, as someone who is trying to understand, I wouldn't say someone who can preach sustainability, but understand sustainability deeply, I would ask every single one to understand what the purpose of the product or anything would give it to you. I wouldn't ask them to choose Singidi or choose sustainable options, but try to understand the purpose of it. Are we consuming are we consuming and someone is that because just someone is influencing out of it, but does it serve a purpose? If that is validated, I guess there is lots again that will cut down hyper consumerism and build a sect of conscious
Because
consumerism.
there are a lot of places where, I mean, because we were talking only about garments, it's one thing, but there are a lot of places where plastic has been replaced. As small as if you go in cafes, we do not use plastic straws anymore. Like, I don't remember the last time I saw a plastic straw being used.
Yeah, even I'm so sorry, but nowadays like the thele walas are also giving in like different bags.
Yeah. So I think garments, polyester is being used, agreed. I think with time that will reduce too. But other than that, I think plastic usage has reduced quite a bit if you see overall. Like plastic bags, I don't think we see it very often anymore.
Yeah.
Very, very, very few places use plastic uh, covers. Straws are changed, spoons are changed, forks are changed, plates are changed. Small, small things are changing.
But we are talking about the tier 1 cities, to some extent tier 2, but there are also tier 3, tier 4,
Yeah,
there are
they
lots of
only
places which is wherein plastic is relevant. And I have seen the looms shut down. I have personally witnessed few artisans who have great art in their hands lose a point of financial stability at their life and started driving autos in the city. So in the past 6 years of my experience, but never have I seen any plastic or any massive, unsustainable or any product delivering mechanism or industry closing or shutting down.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it because I think if I'm not wrong, plastic was banned. I think few couple years back, but then it's not completely banned. And I'm not gonna say in a way like I blame the government, but I feel
There was no accountability.
yeah, because I feel people don't know how long it takes for plastic to decompose. People don't know this. And it's not there. This knowledge has not been spread out. And if it would have been like, how harmful it is, if, I see a lot of people, like where I stay, people put their plastic bowls inside a microwave and how harmful it is. And I keep telling them it's not good because they don't have the knowledge and we haven't been taught all of this. Like even I got to know, like maybe once I moved to Bangalore, so this knowledge is not there, which
have
it should have.
Yeah, I have a feeling sustainability for people at the mass has become convenience. When it's convenient, you take the sustainability route. When it's inconvenient for you, you take the normal route.
Adapting to a comfortable life.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think that's the problem. Because if someone who is claiming to be very sustainable should be sustainable in every aspect of life.
Yeah.
Because that's when you can be looked up to. But for example, today you're not using, say, plastic straws, you're not using plastic bags, you're not using plastic boxes, but and you're claiming yourself to be very a sustainable person, great. But then you're ending up going and wearing clothes that are harming or not in the part of sustainability.
Let's not take the god complex and try to understand and try to judge basically the people, because it is a very, I couldn't see I mean the people are not aware, right?
No, I agree. All I'm saying is that a lot of people claim to be very sustainable.
Yeah, again, as I told, you can claim yourself as someone who is doing business right, and my goal is to earn money and not the purpose. That's
Yeah.
fine. I am
Exactly.
very much in hand with them. In fact, I would love to have a drink with them.
Agree.
But I cannot stand with someone who is claiming themselves to be sustainable and they are not
that's
obliging
what
to
she
the
was-
practices.
That was my point.
That is greenwashing, and I
Yeah.
am strictly a no-no.
Yeah, which is basically very hypocritical, as in front of the world you would want to be sustainable, but inside you're not.
That's what I meant for the whole animal. It's, and trust me, it's happening in every field. Like you're telling something else, you're doing something else, and I would include
Which is the problem, I
There's
think.
no
I think nobody
accountability.
is trying to be honest, is the issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everybody wants to be very goody good in front of the camera or in front of the world or in front of the people or in front of the circles you're a part of. But nobody wants to show their reality.
Like I have
That's
this one
my issue.
question: why are the roads only clean when some minister is coming? Like I have this question from so many years, and I'm telling on those roads they are being colored because some minister is coming. I'm telling as a big minister, but it never happens. And as soon as they're gone, there's dirt all over it because those people who are coming to watch, they're throwing the snacks they're eating. So I just don't get it. Like it really troubles me. Like, are we like really on the verge of destroying our own country?
As I told, it is about average Indian thought process.
Yeah.
We have been conditioned and engineered socially quite a lot of times, for which that we have no ability, and or probably we have a very less ability to think for ourselves and to understand and to design our life in a certain way. We always seek for ideals, and that's where we failed.
Yeah.
I agree. Also, if someone wants to start their own sustainable brand, what would you tell top 3 tricks to market them? To keep it Indian authentic?
Indian and authentic, I would ask them to go back and try to understand the history first, because history is a very uh, it is a proven algorithm, right?
Yeah.
How it has worked for us historically, and let's not just focus about how to build a product and how to build a market for ourselves, but to creating or cultivating a culture around it. That is a very important step, because I don't see a point in making a brand for the sake of making it, let's say, sustainable or whatsoever, because now it is a time for any average human being or a layman to make understand about the brand is to hit you at a point of emotion. So that is a very serious thought that we have to put, and if we are cracking that, rest all will fall in place. Understanding history and applying it to current module.
I think understanding our important labor work that has been in our country for ages, which is getting replaced, which I definitely it should. But I think the thing that should be is done by hands. The craftsmanship shouldn't go, because that is how our India was, ages back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have a few like a quick fire round for you. Handloom versus fast fashion.
Handloom.
Sustainability versus scalability.
If there was something of a mid ground wherein sustainability and scalability could, you know,
Work hand in
work
hand.
hand in hand.
Okay. Craft versus technology.
Craft.
This is very fun. North versus south.
I love bature
Oh my god, you.
as much as I love biryani.
Oh,
Oh.
biryani. I would opt for those.
Yeah.
Okay. India versus global.
Definitely India. If we opted for the practices that our ancestors have actually preached.
Okay, and one drop the filter question. What is the most underrated textile in India?
Hmm. You know, as I come from my state, I am very much, I in fact carry the pride.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah, we have seen
Promote
full
I love
ikat.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
so
definitely.
I really like ikat, and for the matter of fact, which has churned me until now. Now, if you see the origin of ikat, right, if you type in Google, it says that it is hailing from Indonesia, because Indonesia has widely adapted to the culture of ikat. They love our products.
But that's so bad.
Yeah, so I mostly more than the feeling and the sense of ownership that it is coming from my place, I would say that it has lost its glory, that it is healing from this place.
And even the authenticity, like, do you have plans to get it back to India, like yours?
No. It has been a very, I mean, for ikat na, there are weavers who actually practice it. But some Indonesian guy might have come and he might have learned the pattern, and imagine amount of hyper promotion or rapid adaptation to our culture ikat has happened, wherein if you type ikat, its origin states that it is from Indonesia.
Yeah, but I think that's a great note to get to the end of this episode.
Mhm.
Hope you had a lot of fun, because we did, definitely.
Yeah. And before ending it, yeah, I have a drop the filter question for you. What is that one policy that you want to change about our country?
The adaptation of, India is a wide country. There are lots of people, and lots of people means lots of opinions. Now that you have asked about policy, I will just tell you adverse effect of how policy framing works. I would take a personal, field related policy. I would just try to explain it quickly. Okay? Batkamma is a very big festival in Telangana, right? It happens around the time of Dasara. And the government was very concerned about the weaver deck of rural Telangana. They have drafted a policy called Batukamma saris. So, wherein the weaver get benefited for the job work, and they used to distribute among the economically weaker sections of the society. Now that policy has taken into heavy adaptation, weaver has seen certain economic rotation in their hands. Okay? Because there was a very strict order from the government that you are going to make it affordable, you are going to do whatsoever, sustainable, unsustainable, doesn't matter. It is most important for you to survive, to keep the art prevalent. Okay? So they used polyester as like any other industry would do to see some money. Okay? Now, after a certain point, the policy maker had failed in the election because the saris amongst the rural women were distributed. They agitated because it has intensive polyester content. Now, are we questioning someone? Imagine how rich in terms of knowledge the rural people, rural
Exactly.
deck of India is, and how adverse are the effects of one policy. So policy, in a way, I don't think really that it would help, because again, as I told, there are lots of opinions and there are lots of permutation and combination which goes in for it. I would rather just ask people to think independently. That sole thought would take us very forward.
Yeah, I think one person can make a difference. Yeah.
I think that's a great note to end the episode. Thank you so much for coming. How was it for you?
I guess, largely podcasts are about what they say, what the host says, rather than what the guest want to speaks. So I guess here you have made a clear point that whatever sections of points that a guest wants to put it out, there was a proper balance in between what the questions are coming and what the answer was. So I really respect that, and I really see that the initiative of yours will go forward, and you will certainly see a very good chunk of viewership market share.
Thank you so much. This really means a lot.
Because
And we'll take the
we have
appreciation.
always really worked in learning and also giving out learning
Yeah,
to
I
the
think
audience.
idea was not just, I mean, very selfishly, this part was like, of course, it is for the audience, a lot of learning, but I think for us to learn also, because it's, we
I was-
have not done master. So this is very much meeting new people, learning from their experiences,
And I was
talking to
very
different
nervous
people.
before talking to you because I have no idea about it. Okay, then thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next Friday.
Bye.
Okay, bye.